Welcome back. I'm Fanny Grajikevich and I'm here talking about love today. What is love? Some years ago, I was in Mexico City with a group of friends. We were walking through the streets of old Mexico ruins, and one of the guys there was so in love with one of my friends. She was a beautiful woman, and he was just looking at her from afar, and he was next to me, and he said, I just love her so much. And then he asked me a question. What is love? And I have memorized a very beautiful definition of love. It's described by an ancient writer. His name is Paul, Apostle Paul. Is known in the Christian world. And he has a beautiful definition that I would like to read to you today. This is what I told my friend. And when he heard this, he was in awe. He said, oh, I wish I could love like that. Sometimes I wish I could love like that too. Love is really tested when you are in a long relationship, when you're in a marriage that it does not work, when you are in a relationship that angers you sometimes, or maybe you think that the other person is proud. But let's see what is love and what love is not. So let's read it together. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it's not proud, it does not dishonor others or is self-seeking. It's not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Today we're going to talk about boasting, that quality that is in the definition. Love is not boasting. And the meaning we could say proud. So today I would like to talk to what is proud and what is narcissism. A lot of people have been talking about narcissism in the last years, and I would like to talk to you about that today. So let's start with the definition of what is proud or vain, okay? So it's excessive pride in someone, nurturing a feeling of unjustified superiority to the point of believing oneself is infallible, constantly boasting of one's achievements or qualities. In other words, it's an internal process, something that develops within the individual. As a couple therapist, I have seen so many people who come to me with their partner, and they always ask, I want them to change, I want them to apologize for what they did, I want them to ask for forgiveness, they did something wrong, I want them to be different. Very seldom they ask, what do I need to do to be a more loving person? What do I need to do to love this my partner at the best of my abilities? And this is what therapy is. You come to become better about who you are. So that's why I'm talking to you, my friend, personally, as a therapist, as a counselor that I've been working for more than 20 years with people around the world. What is it that you bring to the room of therapy that you are ready to change? So we're talking here about the difference of being proud and being narcissistic. I already gave you the definition of what is proud. Now I'm going to talk about narcissism, which is a term that has been sounding a lot on the social media. Clients come to me telling me that their partner is narcissistic, or friends are talking to each other and they say, oh, that person is narcissistic. But what is really narcissistic? First of all, let me tell you something. Narcissism is a personality disorder. So it needs to have an evaluation by a psychologist. You cannot just name somebody narcissistic because they're proud. So just to give you a hint or a clue what narcissistic is, I'm going to give you some qualities of a narcissistic person. Okay? So if that person who you think is narcissistic has 5 of these qualities, then you can be considering maybe that person is narcissistic, maybe that person is a psychological evaluation. Okay, so let me read them to you very quickly. Number 1, an unrealistic belief of being superior and unique. Number 2, a constant search for praise. Number 3, difficulty understanding the feelings of others, a lack of empathy. Number 4, uses others to achieve their goals. Number 5, is proud, is arrogance. Number 6, is overly sensitive to criticism, reacts with anger or tries to humiliate the other person when he feels or she feels criticized. Number 7, constant preoccupation with success, beauty, achievement, and power. Number 8, feels entitled to special treatment. Number 9, believes others envy them or their peers. If that person has 5 of those of that list that you just heard, you may consider, well, probably they have a narcissistic personality, or maybe they need a psychological evaluation because they seem to have a lot of these qualities. So, do you recognize any of these on yourself? That's my first question. Or do you think that your partner has some of these qualities? As a psychologist, I've been treating couples for some years now, and I realize that most of the time narcissistic people don't come to therapy because they don't need it, right? The ones that end up in the therapy room are usually their partners, their spouses. Now, let's go back to pride and reflect on what it means. In the Christian tradition, pride has been considered one of the 7 deadly sins, right? Or the capital sins. The saddest part is that individuals who are proud tend to hurt those around them with their words, with their actions, or lack of them. They require a lot of attention and tend to talk about themselves, rarely asking, how are you? How are things going? They are generally not someone who allows themselves to be vulnerable because they fear expressing their flaws or shortcomings. It is important to know that vulnerability is part of forming intimate bonds. Think about a moment when you felt really close to someone, a friend, maybe your partner, maybe one of your colleagues. It's usually when they were actually being vulnerable. They were telling you something that hurt, something that was important to them, something that meant a lot in their lives, maybe a part of their history. That is vulnerability. And people who are proud usually don't have this capacity to recognize some of the things that maybe they made as a mistake, or maybe it gave them a lot of pain. Amado Nervo, one of the Spanish poets, said, if you are proud, it is fitting that you love solitude. The proud always end up alone. This reminds me of also what Nietzsche said. He said, remember my advice. Renounce vanity if you aspire glory. I have found that people who have a lot of knowledge or success, they're usually humble people. So the antidote for pride is often considered humility. Humility involves recognizing and accepting our limitations, showing respect for others, and being open to growth and learning. It's about maintaining a balance between oneself, understanding that we are neither superior nor inferior to others, but part of a large whole. So, practical ways to cultivate humility and counteract pride, or how to be more loving, which I would think is humility also, is 1, self reflection. Take time to reflect on your actions, your motivations, and the impact that these have in other people, and how others can help you understand where pride may be hindering growth. Number two, gratitude. We have talked a lot about gratitude in this series. Acknowledging the contributions and support of others and appreciating the gift you have been given help shift the focus away from yourself. So, thank your partner, thank your friends, listen to their advice, listen to when they want to maybe give you a constructive criticism, and you can actually thank them for that. Number three, listening to others. Active listening is one of the most important qualities you need to learn in life. Being genuinely open to others' perspectives, to the ways they see things, to their ways they think. It may reduce your tendency to prioritize always your own opinions, your own feelings, your own necessities, your own thoughts. Think about what others have to say about the same point of view or the same subject or the same feeling. Number four, serving others. Acts of service and kindness help to keep the ego in check and put the focus on the well being of others. Number five, accepting feedback. Listen to what others have to say about yourself. Accept their criticism or maybe their point of view about what you did. This will help you grow. Remember that conflict is an opportunity of growth. So accept other points of view too. By embracing these practices, pride can be softened and we can approach life with a more humble and grounded perspective. And above all, we can be more loving towards those around us. So I send a hug. I hope that helped. Last but not least, I will invite you to check my webpage. You can find my phone number there, my email address, in case you need a more personalized session about love, about communication, about how to be a better person, how to grow, how to have some goals that you want to achieve. So check it out. And thank you for listening.